With that sound, you know what it means. The horn says we are just in time. Good afternoon. It's Sunday, June 15. It's Father's Day. Welcome to the CCRP update for the 24th episode in 2025. The CCRP was created to empower, celebrate, and protect Jamaica's seniors. They offer many benefits. Visit our website at ccrponline.org. CCRP Update is brought to you by J&GI Silver Shield, the best choice for auto and property insurance exclusively for CCRP members. Contact Gallagher Insurance Brokers or J&GI for best value and a boatload of benefits. In today's CCRP Update, we have somebody very, very special. It's Daddy Day. And we have a gentleman, Dr. Errol Williamson, who is daddy of three and grandpa of six. So that's a powerful conversation that we'll have in just a little bit. Hmm? And so let's say happy Father's Day to all Jamaican fathers, and it's coming from your CCRP. We hope you're having a great time with your children or your grandchildren. If they're remote, then you know it is. Thank God for technology. You can do all kind of things on FaceTime or Zoom, whatever one of them. Yeah. Today is also World Elder Abuse Awareness Day. It's an issue that we've been advocating relentlessly. So we'll mark the occasion on next week's program, but today we focus on our beloved fathers. And the CCRP Update sponsors J&GI offer their amazing Silver Shield plan for auto and property insurance exclusively for CCRP members. The auto plan includes free benefits from the Jamaica Automobile Association with valet service for vehicle registration, fitness, 24-hour roadside assistance, and discounted driver services. The CCRP will shortly implement a new data system which requires each member to have a unique email address. Remember, members, if you have not yet submitted an email address to CCRP, please do so immediately. And if the email address you have submitted is shared with another member, you need to submit one that is uniquely yours and yours alone. And members, those of you who have changed an email address, that happens, or any contact number since joining CCRP, let us know. We want to keep in touch, and I'm sure you want to hear about all the goodies and exciting things that are happening within your community. So just please, as quickly as you can, send your updated email address or any change of contact number. And you can do that by WhatsApp. We've got two numbers, 876 469 1944. That's 876-469-1944. The other option is 876-295-7059. Again, 876-295-7059. And the email address, very simple. info at ccrponline.org. By the way, if you're 40 or over, 40, just 40, you're eligible to join the CCRP. When you join CCRP, you open up a whole world of exciting events, money savings discounts. And when you're a CCRP member, you're actively supporting the rights of seniors and the elderly. You want to do that early, right? So join us when you're 40, come in and be fully part of this movement and revel in the fellowship and all the other great things that come from being a CCRP member. We've been passionate advocates to help you ensure that you're protected from elder abuse and discrimination. For only an initial registration fee of $2,500, then an annual renewal of $2,000, you'll have access to discounts of up to 30% from over 100 discount partners, 100 and growing. CCRP also offers 2 health insurance plans underwritten by Sagicor for our members. Lots of stuff. On next Sunday's program, we'll discuss elder abuse. And Miss Sandra Latibaudier, a lecturer in social work at the University of the West Indies, will be the person on board to give us her professional view and all of those things that we need to know to arm ourselves to be part of that fight, that victory as it will be, because we've got to go in the right direction, don't we? Yeah, man. So here now is the meat of today's program. It's Father's Day, and yes, we're people too. I'm just messing with you. But yes, it's true. Today we're blessed to welcome a father of 3, grandfather of 6, Dr. Errol Williamson. Welcome, Doc. How you doing?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hearing you loud and clear. You hearing me?
All right. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting us on this special day. Hello
Yes.
to the radio audience and to all your staff there. Yes, we're glad to be here. It's a long journey, but
Yes.
we are alive and well.
Amazing. Good stuff. Tell me a little bit about your experience as a father. What kind of father would you say you were and now are? Because we all grow. Nobody born with training to be father. Even though you might get some kind of mentorship, the truth is when you hit the ground, you have to kind of sort it. Am I right or am I absolutely
Per-
right?
Perfectly right, Jerry. Perfectly right, because I got married at 23,
Oh,
and
same me
by
too.
29, I had to stop having babies. My
Yes,
wife, that is.
yes, yes, yes.
It was early days, and as you say, it comes with no book of instruction.
Right.
But for me, the key things, one or two things that always stayed with me was the family must be secure. They must be properly looked after. They
Mm-hmm.
must be properly read. They must understand what is going on in the household.
Mm-hmm.
And I am looking forward to producing a child at the end of 18, 19 years that is of value to the society. That was my main goal. And the thing is to be secure, to be safe, to learn, and to be productive. That was what
Yes.
I saw.
Powerful, powerful. But how about the balance? It's always a balancing act. How did it work for you?
Well, it was a trial and error. No, I must say that I don't think the children liked me very much in those early days. I was the
Mm,
disciplinarian. I
yes.
was firm because I wanted to see a good product at the end. And I knew that any little slip up could lead you to an ultimate disaster. So
Right.
I was a disciplinarian. They didn't like it. They didn't obviously object to me. But in later life, I got to realize that they flew the coop as soon as they could. And they were not pleased with me. But I have now seen the results of my work. And I
Mm-hmm.
am extremely pleased at this stage. Very
Mm-hmm.
pleased with what I produce.
Yes, yes. What
You
kind of
see, Jerry, I
yes.
didn't like my father either because he was a disciplinarian also. So
Oh,
I cannot
see?
understand what they went through.
We've been having several conversations about fathers today, and it comes through in every single one of them. Your
Yes,
children follow who you are, not necessarily what you say. So you must say and also
absolutely.
be. So if they don't like how it sound, but them see the
Yes,
soundness.
yes, yes,
They
yes.
follow the soundness, even though they don't
Right.
like the sound you make.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen now where my eldest, who is 52, 53, is like a brother. He spent the morning with me. He just drove in and he
Yes.
just sat with me in the garage and we just spoke and talked until we
Mm.
went to church. But it's like a brother and brother relationship. Then when I
Fantastic.
went to church, my daughter, the last one, she's 40 plenty, and she sat there with her little young baby, and we were like brother and sister together. It was
Mm-hmm.
a good relationship, and is a
Mm.
good relationship at this stage.
Yes. Because you have the same values.
Absolutely. And
Mm.
they imbibe what I did, not so
Yes.
much what I spoke of. And
Right.
work hard, that was my middle name, Jerry. Work
Mm.
hard was my middle name. For
Mm-hmm.
I practiced medicine in Maypen, and I lived in
Ah,
Kingston, and there was no highway.
good. My goodness.
Oh my God, Jerry, it was
Yeah,
rough.
oh gosh, I can't even imagine because the highway and all them excitement came after I left country.
Yes.
But I remember struggling to get into Kingston for many things, for things that were absolutely necessary. So I can't imagine, a regular trek.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
Jerry, after a day of 8, 9 hours, 60, 70 patients, and then coming into Old Harbor and falling asleep, because it's
Mm-hmm.
always a traffic block, and
Yes.
still don't reach Spanish Town yet.
It's crazy.
It was a fight, but the highway saved me in the last, say,
Mm-hmm.
8, 9 years. It saved my life, but it was a fight.
Mm-mm. And when I think about the line of work that you do as well, it's a combination of every single thing. It's mental, it's emotional, it's physical, it's mental, it's technical. Your hand-eye coordination have to work too. I mean,
It's
like
absolute,
some people have the hand-eye,
absolutely.
yes, but they can
Be-
listen to music. You can't be listening to music when you're tending a
no,
patient.
because the patient who smiles at you today and you do something wrong would have the daughter from New York come down with a lawyer bigger than your biggest paycheck. So you'd
Mm,
better know what you're doing. It was
yes.
a fundamentally concentrated, do right 99.9% of the time. There's no
Hmm.
error. There's no error
Yes.
margin.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
I always what them said, lawyer, well, a bad lawyer client get locked up, but
Yes,
a bad doctor's patient get a plot.
quite true, quite true. You
Like,
know, we
yes.
spoke earlier about this thing about security, and for the
Yes.
children.
Yes.
And to me, you know, Jerry, that was like number one. I refused to get married before I secured a house.
Yes.
And in those days, Edgewater was going for 12,500.
My goodness.
And that's where we started. But, you know, to talk about fathers and father figures, you know, before I got married, I was more or less betrothed to this young lady from age 17 for over
Mm.
6 years. And when it was looked like it was going on too long, her father, who was a big businessman, said, you know, son, you could get married and I'd put you in a house and you could look after some of my businesses while you went through whatever you wanted to do. So Jerry, I was full of joy. I ran to my father and said, Dada, Mr. So-and-so, put us in a house if we get married and you could be and that would be good. Eh?" And Dada looked at me,
Mm.
all quiet. He said, and I quote him word for word, any man who puts you in a house can take you out of that house.
Mm. Mm.
That deflated me, Jerry. That punctured my balloon.
Mm.
But
Mm.
it
Mm.
taught me a lesson.
Yes.
What is for you, you go and get it for yourself. Which is
Mm-hmm.
what we did, you know.
Make the
I'll never
balloon
forget that lesson.
make the balloon go on. The balloon can burst.
Absolutely. He meant well, you know, but
I know, I
for a
know.
man, there will be
Yes.
disagreements.
Yes.
Life is no bed of roses. There are gonna be disagreements. And
Of
if a man
course.
can take you out of his house, then you're not a man.
This is true. This is
Yeah.
true. This is
Uh,
solid. This is solid. I wonder if we pause long enough to listen to some of these words. I mean, words are being thrown around now so carelessly. You know,
yes.
social media has its value,
Hmm.
and the ways of communicating that are easier, they have their value. But I'm wondering sometimes if we probably still need to have the tough love in the words.
We do. And,
Hmm.
and and because of social media, we're debasing ourselves into two lines and one lines, and we don't even know what we're actually saying. What
That's
do we
it.
really mean?
That's
What
it.
is this
Mm.
interaction? I mean, for instance, I practiced medicine for what, 45 years. I graduated in 1975, which is
Hmm.
50 years May gone.
Yes.
And to me, it's not so much what the person sat in front of me and said, you know, is their body language, their
Mm.
intonation, the sound of their voice, whether that's a smile, are they looking me in the eye? What
Hmm.
is really going on? But I have to find that out in a limited period of time to know
Hmm.
what you're really dealing with. So this
Yes.
social media almost prostituting human relationships, it is scary,
It
scary.
is. It is.
Mhm.
It is. They do it because people will pay for it. But I mean, how
People
long will it
are,
last?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but that can remind you of the oldest profession too. People still,
You know,
yeah.
quite
But you
so.
you decide. You
Where you
decide
want to go.
it's going
Yes,
to be earned. Yes, yes,
yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
Another thing in reviewing some of the notes that you kind of shared with me is the fact that the moral compass was at the center. That
Yes,
you never send them to church. You accompany them to church.
yes, yes.
And if
True,
it's
Jerry.
one time, two time, 10 time, because
Yes,
that is there, it's a marker. You
that's
lay
right.
down a mark that this is valuable.
Absolutely. Because as you said, it's not what you tell them, it's what you do. And
Hmm.
it's just like what we did around the house. I
Mm.
would have them outside, teach them how to look after the dogs, teach them how to keep the place clean and tidy. They didn't like it, but they would do it. And
Hmm.
now at 52, 54, I see my big son with his own house, his
Hmm.
own family, everything, doing what I did. And he would say to me, Daddy, I'm doing what you did, you know, and I used to object to it so much. I said, boy, son, that's the story of life.
Yes,
You
yes,
got to do and show them what you mean,
yes.
and they will
Uh,
follow you.
wow. That's what love looks like, eh?
It is, it is.
I saw a little thing I think you should mention here about just one of the toughest things about being a father is when there's a fear that your child could be at risk. Nothing don't
Oh
switch on
boy,
a primal instinct like that. Share at least
I
one of
tell
those with me, because I see you mentioned a couple here, and I mean,
you.
at least
Oh
one of them.
Jerry,
You can't get
oh
away without
Jerry.
mention at least one of them
No, oh
because
Jerry,
that,
that is real deal. Well,
yes.
for instance, the youngest one, we lived up in Jacksonville at that time, and I don't know what God did, but He put me beside her, or He put me outside. She was in the kitchen. She came out of the kitchen to the driveway and just stood beside me and not breathing.
Oh,
This is a
goodness.
this is a 9-year-old, 8-year-old girl.
My
I
goodness.
didn't know, I had no idea what is going on. But Jerry, instant reflexes just putting, I grabbed her, turned her upside down, and I thumped her in the back. Boom! And that 10-cent piece fell out of her mouth and she started to breathe again.
Oh,
I was to
goodness.
myself for about 2 weeks after that.
Because
by the skin of my teeth, I saved her
yes,
life.
a
Yes.
kind is not something that will digest. I'm just saying.
No. And if it's stuck in the larynx, it's grief.
Oh gosh.
Have mercy, Jerry. Have mercy.
Oh, that was
And
that was
then
divine guidance, right?
it has to be. It
Mm,
has to be. But it's even more, Jerry, if I tell you. My wife, who is allergic to a lot of things, suffered an allergic reaction in
mm,
Georgia. And just by, I don't know, God must be there because she called me on her cell phone, but mine wouldn't pick up. And we are roaming in Georgia.
right.
But she called her sister who was beside me, and all I could hear was Errol and nothing else. And I realized something wrong, and I ran to where she was, and she was not breathing. She was in
Mm-mm.
anaphylactic shock, and
Oh
I had to
goodness.
resuscitate her on the floor in Walmart. So
Mm-mm.
those things have aged me, Jerry, have aged me, and I thank God to be alive. But
Mm,
those are experiences that I don't think any father would want to
mm,
do
mm.
voluntarily. But if you have to do it, it's good that you could do it.
Yes, and it turns seasoning.
I'm telling you.
Nobody when I don't know many people still I just eat pepper, but if something is
No,
peppered right, it becomes seasoning.
you better do it. You
So these
better do
things
it.
that bring you to the brink have now
Yes.
helped to hone
Yes.
your character. My goodness.
Absolutely.
Wow. Must be a joy though to see them all flourishing and of course the next generation coming and realizing that they come from a good, solid stock. Isn't that wonderful?
It is extremely good. And Jerry, we
Yeah.
took the grandchildren. Of the six grandchildren,
Yes.
five of them have lived with us for maybe a year to 6 months. Every
Uh,
one of them, because a
Wonderful.
parent was traveling, doing an exam, getting a degree here, doing something. So they especially my wife, like, I mustn't take all those daddy's days. This is the wife who molded them and treated them as
Absolutely.
her own, and she
Yes.
grew them in her hands.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But
Yes.
sometimes, these children can be like a tough doing, Jerry. For
Of
instance,
course.
my daughter went away and left the granddaughter with us for a year while
Hmm.
she did her degree in London.
Yes.
And I grew to love her as my own child because I
Mm.
didn't have any grandsons.
Yes.
And when she returned, she just took her away. Jerry,
Yeah.
this was a
Oh,
gut-wrenching. I couldn't explain
yes.
to it.
Yes.
It's like
Rough
somebody
stuff.
had passed.
Yes. I know.
Hurt, hurt. But boy,
Separation, not a good,
yes,
it rough.
rough, Jerry.
But thank you so much for sharing so selflessly and with
My
such,
brother.
I mean, you pour a lot of yourself into it. We can feel it. We don't just hear you, we feel you.
Thank you, my brother.
And
Thank you so
we're
much.
very, very grateful for that generosity of spirit. It takes a generous spirit to do that, and we love you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Blessings. Dr. Errol
All the
Williams,
best.
yes, Dr.
Yes.
Errol Williamson. Listen, man, selflessly sharing his journey as a father, grandfather, and yes, I hope you value something out of that, man. Until next Sunday at 3 for all things CCRP, visit our website, ccrponline.org, or our YouTube channel. How about both? And if you're 40 years or over, just 40, we look forward to welcoming you as a full CCRP member. Why wait? Opens up a whole world of insights, networks, exciting events, money saving discounts, much more. Just build the connections, share the experiences, keep informed now so that you can make the best life choices before retirement hits. CCRP update brought to you by J&J Silver Shield, the best choice for auto and property insurance, exclusively for CCRP members. Contact Gallagher Insurance Brokers or J&GI for best value and a boatload of benefits.